Oi, oi. Flat Earth British. Martin Leaker speaking. Hiya, guys. Good to see you back on a Flaterday. I am dead excited today, although I have got fireworks going off at this instant as well, just as I go live. I'm live and direct from Wales land, but I'm going to need an all-important comms check. So if you just stick a 1 in the chat feed to let me know you can hear me, awesome. That will be fantastic. Sounds all right from my perspective, but one can never tell. Good to see you back, Jamie Craig. Good to see all of you today. You're all in for a treat. And you're all in for a mind blow. Because in this post, I'm going to put a hypothesis together and I'm going to put it all in one package. Because I've heard you saying all along, make it make sense, Martin, make it make sense. Okay, this is where I'm going to try and make it make sense. So I've made a chart and I did all the sort of work and research behind everything, put everything together, and a pattern emerged. And the pattern was that the entire realm, or the entire Earth, was wiped clean just before 200 years ago. Does you find that difficult to believe? Okay, well, I've had a mixed reception in my comments from my last post, part 1 of this series, the no world before 1800s hypothesis, but something resonated as well with a lot of people. Okay, and when you put it all into one package, as I'm going to do in this post now, something is going to become clear to you. I'm going to show you a few things in this you may find spooky. Spooky in the regard of when I explain it to you and then I show it to you, you will have the same experience as I did, the uh-oh moment, which is what you're going to have when you watch this post. A few uh-oh moments. Thank you, Otto. Good to see you. This is a great theory. Not at all. Resonates with you. Okay, internal visions. I'm glad to hear it. Well, there was a bit of defense. I've had all of that when I've talked about flat Earth and alternative history before. But the fact remains, guys, is nobody can prove anything that they say about the past. They just can't. Oh, I had a great uncle that's in the parish records. Oh, bully for you. You've got a photograph? Well, quantum entanglement, you know, the measurement problem, it don't exist unless it's measured or viewed or recorded. Seems to work for quantum mechanics. Why doesn't it work for history? Now, it seems that this is the story. Humanity, okay, disregard evolution and all of that. This is what the score is. Humanity has existed for umpteen thousands of years. All of that time, okay, since the invention of the wheel, it's been horse and carty world, bow and arrow world for the entire of human civilization. And then we get to 1800 and everything just arrives. All of the inventions, all of the technologies, like the people too, everything just arrives at the beginning of the 1800s. I'll put it all together for you in this synopsis. Now, I made a chart, and the chart will cover, okay, when we get into the juice quick today, as long as my volume stays awesome. Yeah, today I am your host from Wales land, Marticus Von Twinkle Toes. And it is true, I have got twinkle toes. Okay, I can strut my funky stuff. So, TimeLine Anomalies is what we're going to look into. Now, in my last post, you may have seen, 10,000 of you have seen this. So welcome you. I'm going to get straight. We have been hoodwinked. This is the score. Is okay. So the history, and I think this is a definite thing, guys. Okay, it's been completely fabricated. The world got reset. It got rebooted. If it's a sim, it got rebooted, and this brand new simulation only been playing out 200 years. The world is only maybe 225, or this sim, or whatever this place is, 225 years old. The world that went before it, well, it was in ruins. The people that built the world that went before it are missing. Every single ancient civilization that has ever existed is missing. That would include, okay, as I covered on my last post, the missing people of the photographs of the 1800s. Very curious why people with cameras went into, you know, when it's just been invented, go into these empty cities and take photographs of everything. No toilets in Tataria. There's something going on with that for sure. The serious absence of thousands and tens of thousands of years of human interpretation and trillions of people that went before us, the absence of their waste. Although there was a bit of an argument with that. I think it's a good proof. And the absence of dead. Okay. Catacombs doesn't cover all of the trillions that should have gone before us. Where are they? Poof. Well, we're going to look into that. We're going to look into all of the aspects, or a lot of the aspects of this subject, all in one fell swoop today on this post. So buckle in. This is going to be it's going to be a bit of a roller coaster ride, I'm afraid, guys. Okay, it's going to be crazy. Okay, hold on to your hats, your happy hats. This is how we're going to roll today. So photographs just suddenly appear, early 1800s, and they record the world. Okay, and then little time after, maybe 80 years after, we get moving pictures. Or so they say. Until that point, nothing is recorded. Now, you might say to yourself, what about the Napoleonic Wars, Matt, in the 1700s? What about Napoleon? You got a photograph? Got a photograph of the Duke of Wellington, got two of them. Got a photograph of Napoleon Bonaparte. Have you? Well, he existed when photographs existed. Why didn't one of the most famous dictators in human history, who made more gain than Alexander the Great, didn't get a photograph in history? I find that peculiar. I find that ultra peculiar myself, because he should have had loads of photographs. But they've got lots of oil paintings and engravings that make all of history true. Okay, I'm in the camp now that if you can't prove it, which you can't, okay, and if you can't show me a photograph, which you can't, then I'm afraid that it wasn't really there. That's what I'm going to propose tonight. We're going to get to it. We're going to cover all the aspects. We're going to look into phantom time hypothesis. That's at the beginning of this. We're going to look into mud flood, Tatarian Empire for sure. Orphan trains and the foundlings that repopulated this place, sudden tech emergence of the 1800s, star forts, cathedrals. We're going to look into all of that. We're going to look into lost maps and how the maps changed. Something else that I'm going to show you, you may not have noticed before, which could blow your head off. Tesla free energy and everything that came after it, antiquity tech. And then you're going to see that a pattern has emerged with what I have done, which I'm going to present to you, that the world was wiped clean, repopulated and rebranded in the last 200 years. Okay. Therefore, the 1800s or 1800 became year zero. Okay, let's get into the juice. Make sure to tip me off, guys, if my microphone. This does make sense, Michelle. And when I propose all of this, it's going to make a ton more sense as well. So let's get straight into the juice, because this is going to be a long roller coaster ride with thousands of images to prove or persuade you that what I'm saying, I think is true. And what if it is? What are the implications for human history if we find out we're only 200 years old? Or just over, which makes perfect sense because the whole world shows up in the 1800s. What about the Gothic cathedrals, Matt? What about the Renaissance art, Matt? What about it? We'll look into all of that. So on my last post, which I started this series, although I could probably get miles out of this, the new world, or excuse me, the no world before 1800 hypothesis, part 1. Now, I talk about the missing people from this place, the absence of tons of garbage, because it's everywhere in the modern day, but there's been all of these people before us, the eradication of the Tatarian Empire's technology, and I cover the missing people in this place in Victorian photographs, and no toilets on flat Earth, which is another mind blow. The antiquity and cathedrals, That includes the organs and the lack of graves in any churches which are attributed to being built in the 1700s by Sir Christopher Wren. The map changes, the star forts. We're going to cover all of that in this post, starting with the phantom time hypothesis. Now, we talked about this for many years because I guess in Antonio Flamenco's work where he says, but he does it by eclipses and through heliosexual thinking. So I'm not going on that, but I am going on that the evidence of the time before the 1800s is exceptionally sketchy. The items that have come over, there are some china plates and stuff. Okay, I've got an electroplated silver bowl up there, which I had dated, or my mother did, excuse me, and they said it was electroplated late 1700s. So I do realize that you may have a book or you may have an item from the late 1700s. I know, okay, because I have myself. But something happened in the 1700s. Now, I've got a family will, okay, apparently bequesting all of my family a load of land here in South Wales. Only the will got burnt in a fire in the stately home in the mid 1700s. I think it was 1742, around that time. So the other one is in the Domesday or the Domesday book, when they wanted, my uncle was going to go into it, and they wanted, I think it was 60,000, even back in the 80s, to even pull that will out, pull that bookwork out. But anyway, so it goes to show that a lot of histories, like in World War II, Adolf Hitler, okay, he tested the SS for any Jewish heritage in their past, but he only tested back to the mid 1700s. Why is that? Because before then, so you and I are Earth. I would agree with that, but you notice the date. You get an I, you get a 6, you get a 6, and you get this queer I thing there. So an I is not a 1, is it? And a J is not a 1, is it? So what we find when we look into this subject is not only buildings. This is an old post of mine looking at the Terminus building in San Francisco with the spooky nuns you may have seen on my channel. Let me just mute the volume, it's all clippity clops of horses. But if you keep an eye on this panel here, you'll see a date anomaly. We see them all over Christendom. Okay, don't look at the nuns, for they are cursed. So let me just show you that again. You'll see the date there is an 8 and a 5 and an O. Comes up again in a minute. So we see over buildings that if they haven't just came, you know, just arrived in like 1870s, 1880s, the buildings, you know, they'll some of them will say, like the Baptist Church in Cardiff, that it was refurbished from its 1824 building. You see this a lot. But regardless, all of the modern world, wherever you go, it could be Melbourne, it could be Newark, New Jersey, it doesn't matter where you are, the old buildings, they say, are late Victorian. All of them. America hasn't got any Gothic churches per se, or any older than that. So date anomalies, there's millions. I've got literally collections of these. I'll just give you some idea. So things attributed to the 18th century, like Stradivarius violins, Chippendale furniture. Sure. These are the most expensive items on Christie's list, wish list. Why? Because they have survived the reset, is why they're worth so much money. And the people of that time, before the calendar got switched off, were just magnificent. The world was just glistening on 3.0 reality. So in this bit of Delft pottery, you can see here it's got a J, a 7, a 3, and an 8. So what year is that? Does that make it 1738 when it's got a J for, is it Jesus? Jesus? Is that so? There are too many date anomalies for the 1700s. You get this I688.5. What year is that exactly? I've got endless amounts of these for buildings as well. I've got some buildings that say 806 on them, guys. What year is that 806? 1806, they just accidentally left the one off? J. So is this a 1? Is this definitely 1703? Because if I didn't know about this subject and somebody showed me that, and I'd say, well, what date is that really? Oh, that's 1703. 1703. Okay, why haven't they got a 1 then? Oh, they used J's. Oh, right. Okay. A J and a H here. And then there's the Roman numerology, which got phased out, I guess. They use them in the movies. The 1, if that's a 1, whatever that is, 6, maybe. HB on an old church in the north of England in Nottingham. So many date anomalies that I am not really convinced that this period even existed. With the phantom time hypothesis, it tells you of added years. It says in this, was some claim that the Dark Ages was called the Dark Ages because it wasn't really there. How many of the years of the first millennium AD can we pinpoint? Well, in some histories, like the Polish history, they can only recount 200 years of its 1,000-year history of the first millennium AD. There's 800 years missing of its timeline. Why is that? It's not the only country. Many countries are missing its timeline for the first millennium AD. They tell you, even in the official narrative. So what's up with that? Because it isn't there. And what about all of the ruins and all of the photographs of all of the wars? What about the American Civil War, Matt? Yeah, because they're telling you this is happening in the future where we are now. And the real story is something completely different. It's the taking out of a civilization, a culture. I can't even imagine the scale of this war that happened. The world was cleared and ruined. The survivors scraped for an existence. If I could guess, that's when we were cavemen and cavewomen, because this place was Mad Max. Calendar didn't even come into it. Why are you going to have a fucking calendar when the whole world's ruined? Well, you're not. When was the switch on date? 1800. 1812 overture. Boom, boom. The New Madrid event. 1811 through to 1812, the biggest natural disaster in American history. Napoleon's army stomping across Russia and losing a lot of his men, getting to Moscow. All of the people are missing. The exact same year. Bram Stoker's Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, and all of the Grimm's fairy tales all arrive in the year of 1812. Spooky, eh? So I think the calendar is fabricated. I think it was on a definite switch off. And I think if this is a simulation of whatever this is, okay, it was put back on in the past 200 years. Mud flood. Now, mud flood to me now is a certainty. I've just seen too many evidences. And the score with the reset before 1800s is the whole world was wiped clear. Mud and probably plasma as well. There's not too much evidence in this. The site is Sardis in Turkey, but what you can see is this is a classical civilization and it's completely eradicated. And how has it been eradicated? Well, it's buried deep in the mud. 30 foot to be precise. And we just take a look. So this entire civilization, they won't tell you too much about it. Look at the size of these stones they're using. All of it below ground level, all of it mud flooded. And you don't need me to tell you about the British cities or the cities all over the world with the lower windows and the first story front doors, which makes zero sense. But you can see this is one of the best evidences that you will see that the classical world was indeed covered in mud. When was the classical world? Not long ago. None of it was long ago. This thing was shattered before the 1800s. And the evidence is still in the photographs in the 1800s. This is why antiquity was so important in the 1800s. They start getting into Egypt. Okay, they start getting into archaeology. They want to find out what the world is, all in the 1800s. They want to conquer the North Pole. They want to conquer the South Pole. They want to discover everything. Everything is done in the 1800s, including finding the remnants of the mud-flooded world. Recent ago, Lisa, recent ago. I don't think anything is truly ancient in this place. Not anymore, guys. I don't. The buildings that you see that they say have been subject to entropy or thousands of years of rain, etc., they're probably damaged by some acid rain, maybe. But I don't think it's time at all. I don't think there's any longevity to any of these. Whoever built all of this stuff is long gone. Why is there no toilets? Maybe there was a race of androids. Maybe there was a race of robots here. Maybe they were bioorganic robots that thought they were human beings, just like in Tron. How do you even know? You know, I think all of this is coming very soon. I reckon, though, the first shipment of robots that you can have, domestic robots, will probably be recalled. I think there's definitely going to be a spout or spate of dickenings and broken fannies. Definitely in the first. So I definitely think they'll be recalling the first lot. I think they're going to have to be toughened. But that's coming, isn't it? Maybe it might not be as bad as that. I'm thinking when I'm like a 17-year-old dude or 80-year-old dude. Yeah, it'd be fantastic. Anyway, I digress. Maybe it was, and maybe we are bioorganic, self-healing, self-replicating robots, for a better word. So there it is, the antique world, all buried in the mud. I'm satisfied that this happened and that this civilization these people did have some sort of advanced technologies. They've machining for sure, and milling, and evidences of glass, maybe drilling and or diamond drilling and etc. They had advanced tech, definitely. Russia, Tataria. Now, I got so many evidences of this building having, you know, these towns, especially in the Omsk region, especially there, have got these Tatarian beautiful cathedrals, okay? But everything is in the mud. They don't do pavements. They do mud. Big, broad streets, okay? With these big, beautiful stone buildings and little antiquitech follies or bunko booths with seemingly no use. We don't know what they're for. In the middle of a muddy street. And the world of horse and carty, that's been horse and carty since biblical times. So they say. Look at this. Just unbelievable. The world was empty of people. And the photographic journal has caught some of it. Look at these lower windows. Now, you see these everywhere, don't you? Yeah, all half buried. And this building was there before the mud flood reset. So, yeah, the world was completely ruined. And as we know, they were the founders. Okay, the people that came in post-reset, if you can call them that, and repopulated the place. They got the cities put back into some reasonable state. The mud dug out of them. Retaining walls put around the main buildings, you know, the civic buildings, police stations, all the best buildings. They were the first to be dug out and retained, I've noticed. So yeah, photos of unbelievable mud flood in Sardis from a civilization before 1800 got completely wiped out. So this is a spooky one, is this. Now, a lot of you know this. I'm sure you're all familiar with the work of Guy Anderson, who's gone into this subject, hammer and tong of possible clones and orphan trains, or the foundlings. But the point remains, is this. There is a mass movement of children in tens of thousands to different continents with no clear origin. No clear origin. No record of their parents. Thousands. If you've got 30,000 kids in a month, how many parents is that? Where did they go? Did they even exist? And they repopulated this realm, which was completely empty, except for skeleton crews that were tarting up the cities that were there and digging them out of the mud. Uniformity came into it as well, and mind control, all part of the new paradigm of keeping you away from your true spiritual growth and involving yourself in world things when that is not important to us, because the veil is lifting and soon you will see that all is an illusion and your past has been fabricated exactly like George Orwell told us. None of it is real. Incubators. Spooky as that. Apparently growing babies super duper quick in the great expositions that we're looking at in a minute. Okay, exponential growth of children also to repopulate the place. Yeah, baby incubators. Something is being taken out there, like tipexed out. I would love to know what that word actually said. Child life section. Really, really weird. These incubators look like something out of the Alien movie. Endless amounts of children to repopulate the place. And all the Disney films will tell you of this era, the era of nannies, an era of orphans, like Orphan Annie, or Bread Knobs and Broomsticks, or Chim Chimney, what's her name? Mary Poppins. She's like a witch, and she's looking after like rich people's children. A nanny. Nannies. It's a really strange thing. So there we are. We repopulated it. A little bit spooky, a bit like The Village or Stepford Wives. And there they are. Everyone gets mind controlled. Look at these poor children. They've had literally basins put on their head, and then it's been cut around. It's literally cruel. That haircut is literally a crime against humanity. It really is. So yeah, they made them all have the same hideous hairdo, and boys too. And then it's corporal punishment, really. And if you think for yourself, you're likely to get hit or dragged out, or something worse could happen to you. School was really bad for your health. School, the stress of it all would make you ill anyway, because everyone in school days is always feeling ill. And then there's just the bullshit of knowing that the teachers are lying to you. And if you ask a question, that they're just going to get niggy with you anyway and probably get violent, which is what happened to me. They used to get violent to me if I asked any questions, especially when I wanted to go into the field of nuclear physics. They went completely nuts on me, which is really weird. Mind control, taking us away from our psychic abilities. Yeah, we're getting a psychic army together, which is going to be so invincible. Yeah, they won't even know what they're doing, because you just put something in their mind and they're like, hey, off they go. They can't even fight. They're not going to fight because they're going to lose all control because there's a massive psychic army. Do you like the sound of that? Fuck yeah. That's the way to win, eh? Psychic powers. Heroes. Look for the hero inside yourself. So yeah, sad little tale, but they look happy enough anyway. So yeah, so they delivered children to sort of middle class or upper class people who couldn't have children themselves because they're all sterile from the radiation poisoning from the reset. Huh. Yeah. That's it. They were all fucking sterile. Go figure. Why didn't I think of that before? So spooky. Anyway, let's move on. So the place is repopulated, but the fact still remains. Okay, guys. Tens of thousands of children shipped to different continents with no clear origin. That should be enough to trigger something in your mind. This one also. This is a uh-oh moment. I could show you thousands of images that I have of maps of antiquity. Okay, they are engravings such as Piranesi, which look like they might be a metal plate photograph. And then you got to imagine, how are they making these all from this angle in the sky? Are they balloons? And then something apparent came to me, is that no matter where I looked, okay, no matter how many images I gathered of antiquity, every single one of them, bar none, were from a bird's eye perspective and at the same angle as well, almost as if AI has constructed it all. And it's so weird how they use the same colors. You know, like AI uses the same colors now. These are all using the same colors and they're shit. Okay, so an old Tatarian port, you can see there, okay? How are they doing this? So try to imagine you're an artist. So you have to project your mind in the air over there. And then some of these are really accurate maps as well of star forts and such. How are they doing it from above? And the fact that they're all this same style of artistry with a similar color in them all. Antiquitech cities, every single one of them is people. Every one of them is people standing outside a city. There's always a broken tree. Always. It's like a code. And then you see all of the Antiquitech masts and spires of all of the Antiquitech devices. But it's always from outside and it's always from a bird's eye perspective. How is that even humanly possible? Okay, the star forts we look at, some of these are from the 1500s, they say. 15, 16, 1700s star forts, okay? They are surrounding most of the European cities, if not all of the world. How are they mapping them from above? Do they have satellites? And how come all of the star forts are mapped when some of these nations are supposed to be enemies? Why would you map and put out there your city when there's enemies? How are all of these from the same bird's eye perspective, the same angle? Jerusalem, Goa, China, oh, Jerusalem again, same bird's eye perspective. And it's really good, you know, sort of artistry involved when you look and mag down. But the fact still remains is they're using these same pastel colors, and all of the pictures, now I see it, are made by the same thing. This is AI. This has to be. Jerusalem, again, bird's eye perspective, bird's eye perspective, bird's eye perspective. I could just go on. This one of Jerusalem looks like an actual photograph. In my comments yesterday, a young lady was saying about Piranesi. I agree completely. The Piranesi, if it is his images are actually real life, then that's really creepy and scary too, because some of them are showing really hideous things going down. He's using some metal camera. He's using some technology. And it looks like, because of the detail in this Jerusalem, even though it's taken from up here on a plane, okay, and it's fantastically detailed, and it's an engraving, and it's from the 1700s, infinitely detailed. How is this even happening, guys? Don't want to burst anyone's bubble about their lives or their paradigm, but this ain't real. Look at this. These massive masts up in the air, again, outside the city, again, giving away all of their military secrets, again, from a bird's eye perspective. Or from a satellite perspective. Well, satellites are not real, so they're from really, really high planes that are looking down, or something in a not really high plane with magnification, okay, like you would need for this. Because the buildings, as you know, if you look at some of them like Istanbul, for example, which we got here, you know, some of the buildings are in fact in place, especially the mosques, Blue Mosque, Hagia Sophia, etc., from a bird's eye perspective. So they never think of doing it any other way. And all of the pictures of antiquity are exactly the same. All of them. Guys, all of them. Yeah, I spent half an hour yesterday just downloading out of my images. Let me just show you, okay? There are 300 images here, and all of them show you the exact same thing. weird satellite images in the same color. Amsterdam in the same color. These are different countries doing exactly the same images with exactly the same printing press, by the way. Outside Jerusalem, again, incredibly detailed engraving, if it is engraving, again. Bird's eye perspective, bird's eye perspective, bird's eye perspective. New Mexico. Astrakhan, supposed to be the capital of Tatarian, isn't it? And one of the narratives. All of them. It doesn't matter how many I show you, they will all be in this bird's eye perspective. Look at this place with all of the castles up on top of the cliffs. That keep you out of trouble, especially in high flood water. For sure. Where you put your highnesses. Welcome, 589 of you. Good to see you. Hi, Squirrel Sniper. Hi, Kay. Hi, Hippie. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. Wiggly Flat Firms. Jerusalem. Look at this image. That's a crazy one. Again, infinitely detailed. I'm just trying to imagine. Okay. The only way that they could pull this off if it was taken from a photograph that was taken from a balloon or a plane. That's the only way they can pull it off. And they're all, I don't know anyone who've ever noticed, except for me maybe at this point, that all of the images of antiquity are impossible images. How are you getting that Starfort image from above? And all of the buildings. Look at this. Mind blow. Fritzburg, Germany. The cathedral's in place. But look at that Starfort. And I noticed as well something else about Starforts when we get to them. I'll show you later a little other detail I noticed that I haven't brought up before. But look at that Starfort escalating at that hill. All the way to the top there. And it's all connected to that city. Everything is inside. Just super futuristic in a world of horse and carty. It just makes no sense, guys. Yeah, photographs should have been around in the past. If the world was there should have been photographs. The reason there are no photographs, guys, is because the world just wasn't. Okay, it just wasn't. It was ruined. It was cleared, and that includes the population. That's the nature of a reset, I'm afraid. I spotted the pattern years ago, and I was like, uh-oh. And I'm not the only one to notice it either. Other people do it through math. Other people do it through different ways, different to my way. But I'm telling you what, that's what it's showing us, guys. This world is completely eradicated, and it doesn't last longer than 250 years. Look at it. Look at this. Look at that stuff. Oh my God. And they got water all the way up there on the top of that cliff around it as well. Wow, that's amazing. So yeah, look at the infinite detail on that Starfort system there. Oh my God. So, okay, we're moving on. Now I could just show you a few more of these. Just scroll through, because I could just show you all of these images here that I've collected of cities, and every single one of them look like they're the same manufacturer. They look like the same printing press. They look like the same colors. No matter where they are in the world, they're either this pastel or this engraving. And that's the two forms. All of them are from the same angle and bird's eye perspective. Make of it what you will. I think it's too trippy for words, is what I think. Look at that. It's just such a giveaway. Such a giveaway to have technology so advanced. Now look, I could just scroll down at all of these, and every single one of them are from that same bird's eye perspective or that weird satellite overhead view. All of them. Cities, you're outside looking in. Every single time. The same perspective. Every single time. Look at that. Stockholm, Sweden. What infinite detail. Moving images. People doing their stuff. Is it really an engraving? Or AI? How long has it been there, AI, anyway? Well, anyway, I could just go on and on and on. And every single one of these images are from the same bird's eye perspective, no matter where they are in the world. Well, how is that even possible? Anybody? Unless it's fake and it's all fabricated, which it is. Moving on. Antiquitech. Okay, so in the past there was obviously what I would regard in the Tatarian Empire, which we're going to look at next, free energy and Antiquitech. And I think that the whole world was, free energy. You've got these devices here, which are called trams, which I think we're working on free energy. You can see one here, which is not being guided by any horse. It's not got any wires, but it's being projected forward. Maybe just gravity in charge that's already available and be captured in these devices here, and then transferred via these buildings here, and transferred across the city using these U-bends here, which all disappear 1900, all old world technology. So after the reset, it's reinvention time. We got the inventory, and then we got to find out what this stuff did. Now, before 1800, all of this Antiquitech was online. The world was active Antiquitech. Look at this. And the remnants, I think, were still existing 100 years later. I don't think all of it had disappeared of the technology, especially these free energy things, which we'll look at. And these everywhere in Christendom are them U-bends here, which are not telegraph. Okay, and churches as well. We know just got specific frequencies. You can see Chartres Cathedral here, human resonance embedded in its floor. So advanced technologies, horse and carty world, they can't invent a camera. Whatever. They get, they can get like, all, the theory of gravity, and all of these different ideas that apparently sprang out of the 1700s, but they couldn't make a camera. Anyway, Antiquitech, here it is, the technology of the old world, very beautiful, functional, with the resonators that collect telluric or etheric resonance, which is there, which Tesla, if he was a real man, knew all about. And it was all over antiquity. There you are. There's the technology behind it. Antenna amplifier, resonating module, and all of these, which I just showed you on them old maps. Some say there's red mercury in the balls. Antiquitech. So we got robbed from that. They definitely been eradicating that. Now, Tataria itself. Now, the expositions, I'm not really bothered what people are saying. I think these are definitely evidence of the old world's architecture. I can't imagine these things being built just for a tomato season. It just doesn't make any sense. And they say, oh, they were made from temporary products. It's just, yeah. Have you seen the insides of them? And some of them are still here today, proving that that can't be. There's still some in Chicago. There's still some bits in Paris. There's still some bits in San Francisco. So there it is, the Tatarian Empire. Now, Tataria, I'll show you some maps later, which will show you that all of Europe would have been included, and probably America too, I reckon, in the empire. And it came before the 18 reset. Somebody said something really interesting in my comments. Were Queen Victoria and Albert actually Adam and Eve? I was like, whoa. Anyway, so yeah, excuse me. No, it's the vast civilization, bigger than the British Empire, but it got completely erased from text. We can find it on old maps, and we got some old texts, but they're made by the, usually the East India Company, and they're just very derogative. So what does this sort of implicate? That there was the suppression and a reset of a highly technological culture a little over 200 years ago. A massive civilization that they don't want to tell you about, and they do not teach you about in school. I never heard of Grand Tatari, like all of that, including China. And earlier on, who even knows the extent of the Tatarian Empire? And from what I make out, their buildings, their sciences, their magic were fantastical. The world was steeped in magic and mystery back then. And it was exhibited in their architecture, which is why we can't rebuild or replace these buildings in the modern day. Any of them. Buildings like you see there in Paris, of the expositions. Existence of the Tatarian world, all in plain sight. So, yeah, they eradicated that from the history books, had to be. And I think that the expositions were evidence of this, how this world might have looked. Absolutely beautiful. But what these things served as is the arrivals, yeah, they need indoctrinating into what the new paradigm is going to be. So this is where these places served. They were museums. They were somewhere where you could go and see what different countries look like. Okay, like this is what the Germans look like. Yeah, they dress in Lederhosen, they drink Steins, and they're very, very friendly. And then that's what they do. They give you an image of what the world is like. They indoctrinate the people, the visitor. Because the new world is just being structured. And this is what they say people are going to behave like. The fantastical world that went just before us. And I think this is a hangover of it. Look at that. There's no way. This is all dirty that this was built for like 8 months, 9 months, and then knocked down. You can see that this stuff is so weathered. It really is weathered from soot, whatever. Anyway. So yeah, the Tatarian Empire, I think, is all truth in plain sight is here. You can see the existence of the Phoenicians here, and they would have been probably implicit in the reset, the mud flood reset, the Kings of Water. I think it is deliberate, and I think there's been some technology at play that resets this place. I really do. Just fantastic, isn't it? But look at this. All of these people, cartoon cutouts, they're not even there, are they? They're not there. Well, I also feel they had booty left over because some of them had like halls full of just china plates or scissors. They had one exposition just full of like mirrors. And I feel that this booty, I feel it's booty, you know, from after that war. Game of Thrones replacing empires. All other empires are completely missing. Is spooky to me. And this one is just can't prove anything before 200 years. Can't prove anything at all. Anyway, really. The Edwardians, okay, First World War. Guys, it's like it's 100 years ago. Yeah, it's 110 years ago. We should know more about the Edwardians. Do you know what? May as well just be whistling in the wind. All of that civilization that went just before us, and we know nothing about them. Nothing about the way they thought, the way they were, the way they felt. Nothing. The entire past is remote to us. Yet it's only 100 years ago. Why is that? Mind control? Some weird magic going down? Believing history is definitely of some sort of weird, trippy magic. They just show you pictures, cavemen, Neanderthals. This was us. God, we were so stupid. Look at us. We used to bang our girlfriends on the head with a club, yeah, and drag them off into a cave, banging our chest. Ugh, ugh. And in the modern day, nothing has changed. No, everything has changed in the modern day. Because Jesus Christ, back in the old days, women used to get spiked with roofies. Now it's completely the other way around. The men do. Anyway, the bell technology, we're going to talk about that as well in this, which was definitely a part of the antiquity of the old world. As we know, they got replaced. The bells of Europe and the world got taken away. Apparently reused in the Eminence program in World War I and World War II. But yeah, fantastic. Look at the absolute amazing. So see these things here, guys? Hi, Liddy. Hi. Yes, thank you, Joe. Glad you approve. You never know what you're going to get away with. Okay. Yeah, I went to a star fort, and that's all I thought when I went there is, God, this is as fake as shit, is what I thought. I had a bad vibe about it as well. I think it's something to do with human slavery. But yeah, these things, whew, just fantastical. Look at that thing. Looks like it's inflatable, like a big dinghy. So I think that's another psyop as well. Wooden ships. I think definitely Crosby, Stills and Nash are trying to sell us something with wooden ships. Oh, Indians, yeah. So they go like, how? Apparently, yeah. And they scalp you and they shoot you with bows and arrows. I got pictures of Arizona Indians in the 1860s, and they're wearing Levi jeans and waistcoats and look proper Western. So that's a bullshit narrative right there. And the Wild West, well, forget it. Sorry to shatter your illusions. Okay, we all love John Wayne Westerns. We all love our Westerns. I'm a bloke, I love Westerns, but I'd say that era doesn't even exist. Not even in the remotest, not even remotely near it did it exist. So there's Algeria. If you ever want to, like, know what Algeria is like, go to an exposition. I'll tell you all about it. Tell you what the Arabs are doing. Go in a mosque thing. The Irish, go and kiss the Blarney Stone. Woo-hoo. Bring a bit of luck. Got to kiss that upside down, though. And look at all this technology that they're bringing out as well. Armaments as well included. Endless halls full of technology, as I've shown many, many times, but beautiful. Anyway, we've got to move on because time is getting away from us. No, Star Forts. Now, this is a definite giveaway, I think, for the fake timeline, is the fact that they are using, highly specific fractal geometry, the mathematics that are drawn into, especially the multi-fractional ones, is a head fuck. It's mind-blowing. It's beyond us unless we got a computer program to do this stuff. So I'm suggesting they might have had that to do this stuff in the past, because there's no way you can just pull this off. Okay, again, with the bird's eye views. But they are all interconnected with water, part of the technology of structuring the water, as well as we have mentioned many times. But they're absolutely everywhere. Now, another thing I noticed is this. I can't even tell you how many star forts I've looked at, right, where the defense is actually behind the building, facing away from the sea. Like, isn't the enemy coming from the sea direction? But that's not what you see. You see that the apparent defenses, if it is supposed to be military, are actually behind the star fort, as if the opposing enemy, or whatever it is coming in from the land and not the sea, which I find unusual. And a lot of these star forts are on the coast, so maybe that's where they put them on the coast for some sort of, who knows what was on the land. It could have been crazy beasts running wild, all we know, eating everybody. Who even knows? Again, this one, the Cosmographia, right, guys? This is a really old, late 1400s text. Oh my God, it's exactly the same as all them pictures. It's the same colors of pastels. It's the same actual azimuth height, okay, for the bird's eye perspective looking in this one from the 1400s. All of it is exactly the same. Even the burnt out tree outside the city. It's like a little code they left us. Crazy, isn't it? Big Ben, Houses of Parliament. Now, there's a painting of it burning down, but the photographs existed. And if the most important building in the whole of the empire, of British Empire, which was British biggest empire had ever been at that point of 1850, yeah, or 1854, Houses of Parliament burns down, but we haven't got a photograph. Oh no, they haven't got any photographs of it being burnt down or being built. So why was that then? When photographs are around, it's the most important building. Big Ben and Palace of Westminster, like everything else in the world, shit out of nowhere. Do you know why? Because none of this is happening. Look at a lot of these star forts have just been left to time and covered in grass and mud. I've been to one star fort up the north of England, and it was a trippy buzz inside the star fort. There was definitely something electromagnetic going on. I could feel. I did feel energized, if you like, by being in there. And it's nice. It must be nice to live inside a star fort too. I would really love to. You know, I've been inside loads of star forts, but I mean, probably slept inside a star fort relatively recently, actually, thinking on it. Yeah. Again, bird's eye perspective. Again, bird's eye perspective. This city here is crazy in Poland. I posted about it on my old channel. Is everything here in that beige color is ground level. This is a cliff, and the entire city is dug out of the mud and below ground level. This is a plain, and all of the city is below the plain. It's craziness. Kamenec, maybe, in Poland. But it's got amazing star forts going on. So, yeah, to me, the implication of these star forts is a technology that's far too superior for the people they say that were there at the time. And this is the same for the cathedrals. There's no way that the geometry and the mathematics going into cathedrals and all of them sciences that are going into them, yeah, they can't get a simple thing like a camera together or something like along those lines, a radio or anything. Because the whole world, right the way from Adam and Eve, yeah, which is really, really stupid until 1800. Now, I noticed this absolutely years ago about the 1800s. So these, you know, the world of bring out your dead. He must be the king. He's not covered in shit. Yeah, that you see on the Monty Python films, the films of the Middle Ages, and the films of the 1600s and the 1700s with scabs, warts, and apparently they've all got syphilis. They're wearing wigs, and they can get all of their shit together to the extent of building something along those lines. It's a really big giveaway to a highly advanced civilization that existed in the past, guys. Okay? It really, really is. Well, they blow my mind. There was that. Oh, Dunkirk. Oh, I've been in that one there. Definitely. Dunkirk. But yeah, they peppered a lot of these star forts in World War II. Again, look, this is Niagara, okay? So they got the star fort on the promenade here, okay? It's surrounded by water both sides. But the defenses themselves, if it's supposed to be military, are facing away from the sea and facing to the land. I see that a lot. So that actually makes zero sense. You know, the enemy are coming. They're coming from the sea, aren't they? I don't know. But yeah, super fantastic. So to me, that is just strong evidence of before 1800s, a really advanced civilization are the star forts. So they give you some engraving books. This one's of the 1600s. So apparently somebody in the 1600s managed to project their mind up into the corner of the room and take a photographic image of events in industry in the 1600s. So this is like when the Industrial Revolution is just going to kick off. Okay. Really strange, massive doors. And they've got some interesting technologies going on. Maybe that is just for self-watering. This guy's blowing a pipe. He has to stay there all day, play music, I guess. That would be actually fantastic. And we got a mermaid above the fire, if it is a fire. There is a fire in there, but there are anderons. And what you get is, excuse me, a merman. Which you're going to get a lot. So, yeah, these apparent buildings, okay, are already there. You can see a lot of them seem mud flooded, but they're moving wood using gears and leverage with these gantries. So these pencil drawing, very clever, from the same perspective. They look like a photographic image from the 1600s. And I've seen this sort of thing 100 times before. It's very Piranesi-like. And it's showing you that that's how they're lifting a bell. They don't actually show you how it lifts the bell up into a clock tower itself, though. But it shows you that they can lift it off the ground with one man winding a handle. Groovy. They can move cannons as well using this same groovy hand crank crane. So they had technology to convert hand cranking power into lifting power by using sophisticated gearing mechanisms in 1600, and they discovered about pressure systems. This is where steam power comes into it, when the second law of thermodynamics comes into play as well, which definitely is a Phoenician fountain you can see here. Wouldn't you agree? So yeah, I'm not convinced these people who look like they are, look at these terrible little trousers they wear at the time of Guy Fawkes. So yeah, 1666, highly interesting year. I've discussed this last week on a little show I went on about how many weird things were happening in 1666. 666. London eradicated. Then they built all of these new churches attributed to Sir Christopher Wren. And the biggest cult in the world, the Sabbateans, are kicking off. You've got Antichrist, who's claiming himself as the new Messiah going on. Look at these boats in the river. You ever seen anything like them before? She turns a handle and they paddle. So they're just like really advanced pedlos. Pretty groovy. Barrages as well. So yeah, they're really technical, these images, and from this same outside perspective, somebody's made an effort, but I think these are, like everything, part of the fabrication. I think we were far more advanced to be able to look at the size of that door with that lock. That makes no sense. Why would you build a door so big? Whoa, that looks like a sonic screwdriver or a sonic key. But yeah, the clothes they wear, I got a lot to be desired. Did they actually wear those things like cod pieces and that? Oof. Yeah. Terrible fashion sense in 1700s. So, okay. So rudimentary technologies of the 1600s, they managed to shit an entire world out for some reason. And another clear marker is the maps. There's something definitely going on with the maps, not just the bird's eye perspective maps, map projections. So from the 1500s up until 1800s, the maps chop and change. No, make no sense. They're nothing to do with the real world. And for some reason, they change like from one year to the next. Like I got ones 20 years apart, and then they got like Island, California. Then it's attached and like something's happened. Strange thing. So yeah, lost maps, rewritten history, rewritten maps, and completely different geography on coastlines and continents and all the rest. So what is the implication of that? Okay, well, they've reshaped the world to manipulate the masses using the cartography in the last couple of 100 years. Globe thinking, yeah, that's 200 years. Before then, that is indoctrination. That is part of the psyop. And this, what I'm telling you now, this narrative, is what they don't want you to know. Look at this. Antarctica, okay, comes all the way up to the, is that the equator? It is indeed. So it must be boiling hot in Antarctica. So yeah, as you can see, North America hasn't got Great Lakes. It's looking really weird. But as you can see, California's attached. Alaska's looking really freaky as well. It just makes no sense. It's a man or beast. Look at America over here. You've got Great Lakes at this stage, but California isn't attached at this stage. You've got this bit here. Is this what? Alaska? Alaska's attached, isn't it? What is it? And then you've got this big gap between Asia and America when we know that it's only like, I don't know, 25 miles across or something, isn't it? And then 2 islands. So why the piss poor cartography? Using the same tones, colours, and everything from all those other images I just showed you of bird's eye perspectives. Guys, I can just see it. I can just see it's the same manufacturer. It's just the same shit going down. It is. It's the same pastel colours. It's the same everything. Once you see it, it's like, oh, God. Look at it. So South America looks like that. As in North America looks like that. What about all these continents at the top, the Hyperborean? And this massive expanse of land. Yeah, where's Australia? All of it is only in this map 300 years ago. Yeah, none of that really exists here and here and here. They tell us. Why the shitty cartography? Why the chop and change cartography? All in the space of a couple of 100 years, making no sense. Like this, for example. Why make that map? What about the big, massive continents? Why would you map massive continents that are not actually there? Full of pygmies. It's inhabited by pygmies, this continent, yeah? The Hyperborean. I bet you there's more going on with Greenland than they're telling us. I've been thinking about Greenland. It sprung in my mind the other night. Also, the island of Madeira. Don't know why. Yeah, I'm going to dig. Get the words come into my dreams, and I think, let's find out what this means. Hyperborean. Why? Look at this. There's the Arctic Circle there. Yeah, they're mapping populated areas in the north. 300 years ago. Why? And of course, a lot of these things on the map, you know, Australia is supposed to be in like late 1700s, they discover this big, massive continent, but you can see that they call it New Holland, and it's Australia. Here it is, Nova Holland. Coincidentally, Nova Holland, but it's not all found, is it? They found New Zealand as well, Papua New Guinea here, okay, and I'm guessing that's the Caledonians. But yeah, so does it really look like that, Australia? Is it actually covered all the way around with mountain ranges? Don't know. But anyway, so they discover Australia, they discover New Zealand, and in late 1700s, everything comes out of the world at this period. Every explorer, nothing was discovered before this period. This is the age of exploration. It's the 1800s. It's when we discover everything. And then Truman puts his hand up and he says, I want to be an explorer. And she's like, tough shit. It's already all been discovered. Well, maybe that's not the case. And the perversion of the maps is definitely a big clue, guys. A biggie. The next clue, advanced technologies. So we'll look at Tesla in a minute, but I'm just going to show you the communications technologies and how early they were. And if you can project your mind 20 years before then, which would have been the First World War or even before the First World War, they had television. They did. Even in the official narrative, you can see in 1936, I will show you as early as the 1920s, they're doing Skype calling in Germany. They have televisions. So if they have them in the 1920s, 1935, 1928, there, televisions, Skype calling. If they got them in 1928, so they've already been developed and they've already been put out into the mainstream, into the public. Okay, so the development and that 10 years previous, maybe, that's how inventions usually work, that would take us up to the First World War, which would mean in the First World War, they definitely had televisions, which would mean that they were watching the battles. They would have had closed circuit. And I think that they had television right the way back in the previous civilization. Okay, look at this. So, okay, 1936, I've said this about this before, this little narrative here, but okay. So I'm thinking that Queen Victoria and Napoleon could have been sitting in their chairs in their palaces watching the battles in Tataria okay, and giving their generals orders real time, like they do in the modern day, which I really do think. When I say it, I'm like, yeah, they definitely did. 1920s, wireless radio. There's no inventions that are new. Okay, they're just not. It's all been, everything's been done before in the previous civilizations and much more advanced. This is the stupidest reset in the whole, all of resets, I can imagine. So yeah, these two chicks here in the 1920s. She's using the umbrella as an antenna. She's wiring off this little radio communications device for earthing, maybe, or even a charge on a fire hydrant or a bollard in the street. And she's using an umbrella as an antenna. Again, 1920s, wireless radio. How long before the 1920s were they usually using wireless radio? We're only seeing it in images of Pathé in the 1920s. Wireless radio, long time before. Again, proving the existence of advanced technologies. Tesla. So I can't say that he definitely existed. Thank you, Lisa. But his inventions and his patents are out there for you to check. And the Tesla motor and other inventions like the Tesla arc and the earthquake machine and the Tesla coil. I seen a Tesla tower in Texas a couple of years ago, and it was a full-size Tesla tower that they'd actually rebuilt in a field. Massive, massive Tesla tower. Don't know if that turned the field blue. So yeah, is experiments in electricity, AC, and there's his Tesla tower apparently arcing out and apparently turning the grass blue and causing all sorts of problems locally, according to the narrative. So that's a real photograph, they say, don't they? So again, fourth screen or fourth person perspective looking in from a certain height with complete symmetry. It's like, no, this has to be a fake photograph. Sorry, just has to be. So yeah, so they give us Tesla as the narrative, the little bit of, suggestion that we had this sort of technology, the Tesla tower, which was wirelessly operating, the Tatarian balloons, and Tatarian balloons were everywhere, and other flying devices which were wirelessly run, okay, and free energy run from these emitting wireless energy. He looks completely different in that picture. He's got much more bigger conch on him than he has in the other pictures. Antiquitech, the collection of lightning as an energy source, because lightning, Deus, God, if you like. So yeah, the telegraph, and I could give you a list of the inventory, but you don't need me to. Somebody just mentioned the Singer sewing machine in the comments, which I really enjoy doing. I'm glad one more person just joined. I had 666 watching then. No, 666. Oh, I have again. It's actually a sacred number. It's just them with bad press, I think. Anyway. So inventions and itineraries. I definitely think that they had an inventory after a reset. Everything's been repurposed anyway. But everything, trains, underground trains, planes coming after 1900, and all of the spin-offs of planes like rockets, missiles, if you like. But the telegraph shows up apparently in the 1850s. The whole world can talk to one another. There's Edison with his communications device. Let me just show you more inventions of the past. There are so many, and they all come out of nowhere. So there's John Logie Beard with his television. Again, shit out of nowhere. The valve, biggie. Giant typewriters. Doorbells. Everything you can imagine. All came along in, the eminence. They really got them going in the 1800s. They started to get really, really interesting. The people of the year 2022 will probably never see a wire outlined against the sky. That's not true. It is practically certain that the wireless telegraphy and wireless telephones will have crushed the cable system long before the century is done. Okay, we're partly right. We still got spaghetti sky wires but that's part of the emergency broadcast system that they spunked up during 2000 when everyone was locked down. They replaced all of the world's lights from sodium to LED. That's definitely a part of it. And they put in a new electromagnetic technology instilled, and they put these weird black things on poles outside every street, which they're telling us is the emergency broadcast system. Like, why did we not need it before? You know, we had fucking apparently nuclear war going to happen. Yeah. Well, we got the 4-minute warning. We're playing it from the Churchill. You got 4 minutes before your face melts off. Yep. 40 years they had me with that one, guys. I thought it was real. So, radio. That's an interesting little invention. Thanks, Marconi. Wireless radio. The Premier vibrator gives you both pounding and rotary strokes as well. So, pounding. Interesting, isn't it? The old poundy-voo. And, oh, projection of movieage. I think that was around a long time before as well. But no evidence of the 1700s or any time before then. If it's not in photographs, it's not been recorded. To my mind, it ain't true. So there you are, Skype in Germany, really early on. Berlin to Leipzig, absolutely fantastic. Oh, and ships. They went from copper-hulled wooden ships to Leviathan dreadnought of the First World War. Yeah. So, yeah, Tesla to use Earth's electric force, apparently. Advanced technologies is a definite giveaway, guys. Okay, I'm coming back. I think I just completed that little bit of my post. Whew. Okay. Happy to take questions. Now I've got 600, nearly 700 of you watching. Thank you for being here. I've been talking for 1 hour, 17 minutes. That's absolutely fantastic, because I'm not going to do a 3-hour today. What do you think then, guys? AI created. What's Jamie saying? Good to see you back, Jamie. Let's see what you guys are saying. AI created pictures don't all look the same. That's why they look different when they keep showing Tesla character. I don't trust the Tesla narratives. Just not enough information on it. Liddy? I reckon time travel. If his time travel was available in the past, then they would have been time traveling to now, wouldn't they? Or in the future, they would try and travel back. Can you go back in time? I don't know. Manny, good to see you. Should be able to go back and fall anyway, I think, anyway. What's it all about, Alfie? I don't know, BB. This is the thing. Well, history's been fabricated. They've been telling everyone they're living on a spinning watery ball, evolution, all the rest of it. Turns out the world, or this reality, or this paradigm's only around 225 years old. It seems that before resets, there were only this narrow window of time that we get is 250 years. And then it's wiped clean again. Thank you, JT. 666, the number of the beast. Hell and fire were born to be released. I don't like Iron Maiden. Don't like the lead singer. Just putting that out there before you think I'm an Iron Maiden fan. Thank you, Internal Visions. Let me know what you think in comments about all of this. People talk about the dead as evidence that there is before 1800s. No, there's going to be dead. There's going to be them in churches and church machines, but they're from a previous civilization. But I'm talking about the population-occupied cities. I'm talking about if a British city in the modern day, God forbid, everybody should die, there would be like literally hundreds of thousands of people dead. So this has happened in the past, but the dead are missing. Every ancient civilization, the populations, which should be in the millions and millions and millions and millions, are missing. Everybody from the past is missing. They bring up the bog body. Okay, we found a medieval graveyard. We found 14 graves from the village. They have some items and personal effects. It's like 14. Should be 40,000 or 40. Plague pits as well. They're never an adequate number, considering a third of Europe was supposed to be dying in the Black Death. You don't see any adequate plague pits. I've seen one in a Nottingham graveyard, a row of plague graves. 10 of them or something. So I thought, man, it mustn't have been much of a cold. Right, what are you saying? Lock lady. Once you hear him out, you'll understand. Who? Moi. Let's have a look. Or are you talking about someone? Let me just pick up the context on that. Why everything happened. Well, I'm trying to put it all into an explainable narrative for you guys. And there's more to come on this anyway. This is my part 2, my chapter 2 of the No Will Before 1800s hypothesis, which may be advancing into theory around now. So what do you think about them bird's eye perspective pictures? That is seriously fishy, isn't it? Fucking right it is. Excuse me. Matt, good to see you. Yeah, where are all the graves? Good point, me. They ain't there. Some say I wouldn't put my money on anything that they tell us, because it's all narratives given to us by them. What I'm doing is I'm thinking for myself, making my own decisions. People come at me all day with, oh no, but it's these and that because this book said that and this book said that. And I'm like, well, I don't really care what the books actually said. I'm going on what my heart, my instinct, and my pattern recognition tells me. Pattern recognition tells me that this place was wiped off the face of the earth 200 years ago, or just over. Creepy, isn't it? Some of the bones of the giants, yeah, well, I think that was from further back. I don't even know how many resets has happened. There's existence of things further back, isn't there? Which completely melted. Some terrible plasma catastrophe. Probably another technology. But I definitely think there's nothing natural in this realm. I don't think that anything is natural in the way you think of it. I definitely think events are artificial. And as this whole place seems to be, and history is just like 1984 told you. It is fabricated, it's been given to you, and none of it is true. We're getting to what is the truth, and it is definitely more beautiful and more mind-blowing than anything they can come up with. Thank you, Hippie, and much love to New West Reset, Liberty or Death, who's just given me a flim. Look at the city of Lucca in Italy. I know it. Excuse me. There is one of the Starford cities basically untouched from map. I saw it in a Atlas Minor in 16 or I665, year before the reset. Interesting. Yeah, Italy's got some amazing Starfords. Portugal too, Spain too. The secret soil ain't green. Oh. Yeah, it could be, but I don't know. I don't think anything anymore. I don't know. I'm just gonna go what I go with. Whatever resonates. If I get a shiver or a oh yeah, then I can tell that I've hit something, and that's why I'm sharing it here. That's what I'm here doing now. I tried to put it together into a narrative that makes sense. There's just too many overwhelming factors and anomalies which make no sense whatsoever, and you put them all together and they're clear. It's clear, it's crystal clear pattern emerges, guys. And I'm not the only truther to stumble across this, and I tell you, I'm not the only other intellectual that has stumbled across this. Look at Emanuel Velosovsky. He definitely fell, this fella across his lap, definitely only he put into the realm of some sort of cosmic event happening. Okay. Well, we don't know what's happening with the dome, do we, really? Or them stars things up there. So I noticed that all of the truthers are getting their channels back. Mark Devlin got his channel back. Trinity for Men. Trinity, my mate Dave Mantle, he's got his channel back. Max Egan, he's got Crow House back. And Santos Bernacci. Santos got his channel back as well. So all the big truther channels are all getting their channels back. Wonder what that's all about. Will I get my Celtic Tatarian channel back? I wonder. What is exactly going on, and why would they be doing that? There's stuff that we say on these earlier videos that it was not okay and it got taken off. Now it's been put back on. Now it's okay again. In a country without free speech. Maybe it's a bit of a setup. I don't know. Let me know what you think in comments about that. If my channel comes back, we'll see. But everybody else is getting their channels back, their deleted channels. Something going on there. So, yeah, thank you for the donation, whoever that was. Desperately needed. I'm really happy about that. Thank you. Gary Felton. Yeah, dinosaurs are gay. Well, we can't cast aspersions about dinosaur sexuality, can we? You know? So, I'm sure they're very nice. And they wash dishes and things. Okay. Sonia, USA is cleaning the world. Well, what we want to do is you want to, but yeah, we're Britain, USA. Okay, we're gonna be ruling the world again soon together. Okay, got it on. Okay, time is coming right now. Right now, the British people, right? They will bite them on the features. They will never surrender. If anyone doesn't understand, the British people will never ever surrender. Whatever happens, yeah. Once you get that into your head, because that's definitely a thing, then I think it's a good, I think we need to bring our way of living to the rest, to these godforsaken places. We did it in the past anyway, because, people just don't know how to behave. Some of these cultures and their way that they treat women is really weird, isn't it? They treat them like shit, basically. That's got to stop, because that's nuts as fuck. Yeah. And people's other countries' human rights records, Britain's is getting pretty bad the way it treats people. Everyone's worried about the police now. They used to be able to trust them at one stage in the past. The old Dixon got green Bobby used to come and check your locks, make sure that nothing could break in. Nowadays, anyone sees coppers, they think, oh shit, I'm gonna get my head kicked in, or I'm gonna get ripped off. That's what everyone thinks, you guys. Everyone sees them as criminals. It's fucking changed so much. And they are. It's just crazy scary. We will never surrender, Gary, because the British people don't know how to. And that's it. And they won't either. Fucking die before that. Die before that. Fucking fight. Fucking what a way to go down. Fighting. Yeah, fuck yeah. Bring back the golden rule, says Annie. Oh, I don't know. Hiya, Nora, if you're there. I don't know. The morals have gone down a fucking swanee. It's a lot to do with cultural Marxism and all of that, and the way that the structure of social engineering is carried out. But people have gone too far. The television is just so creepy. They put adverts on between YouTube music. Oh, it's fucking horrendous. They got black opium. Buy it now. And there's some fucking Cinderfella fucking doing it. It's and you're oh, what up? It's awful. And they keep making, and it just shits them out and you just can't even look away. It's oh, I've just seen that. Fucking horrible. So, hi, I had to save my bike from being stolen. Tell them you're one of the truthers, the flat earthers. Tell them not to do that. Say, do you realise who I am? Nora, flat earthers. Okay, thank you, Squiz. Oh, no, I can't even see what that is. That's Sasquatch, isn't it? Okay. If you shake. Oh, Axel Skies. It's AI making. I think it's safe to presume that now. We didn't really know what AI was all about before. Creep. The World's Forum, they gave us a good idea to whatever was not being distracted. Yeah, okay. Now, that is something else I'm doing as well, is I'm finding it, everyone's on for me to do this and that. I have to concentrate on this. And I can't be distracted by floating off doing this, that, and the other when I got to think about what I'm doing, which is this. You see? Because I go off, boom, on a tangent, and then I'm off of my research mechanism for answers and decodes, which is more important, actually. Dutch are protesters by design. Oh, they love a little protest, don't they? Martin Trump knows all about it. Well, the Russians, in the past, it would be oh, fucking hell, we got to fight Russia. No one gives a shit anymore. They seem to have they're just so not even in it anymore. Yeah. Oh, I was always worried about the Russians. They're good for a giggle. I like them myself. I'm not bothered at all about anybody's really. That's all about them, isn't it? If you've got problems. Proud to be a truther, and I am. Is pride a sin? I don't know. Feels pretty good though, doesn't it? I always fantasize about the flat earth for saving the world. It's one of my favorite fantasies. Everyone high-fiving full of love. Save the world. All governments gone. Fucking councils gone. All of it gone. Worldwide. Start again. Oh, you don't need, the way it was done in the past is like, we didn't need police and all that, guys, yeah? Because it wouldn't be no crime. But you have a local sheriff, yeah? And this is how it works, right? You get the hardest man in the area, like the Audie Murphy, but 6'6", yeah? Get the hardest dude, give him a badge, make sure he's from good moral background, yeah? Nice, gentle human being that wouldn't mind blowing your heads off if you take the piss, yeah? And have him as a sheriff, yeah? So anybody comes in, wants to badly behave, yeah? Don't even warn them. That's the way it should be. And then there would be no need for, there would be no crime because everyone would be armed. Self-governing duchies. So if anybody did break the law, yeah, and, put their hands where they shouldn't or something, yeah, then we'll have a self-governing, little courthouse with one of the really nice elderly ladies from the neighborhood who have seen everything. She's got a heart of gold, but she's not going to be taken advantage of. You know the one? She'll be the judge. She'll go in, she'll be able to listen to the case carefully. She'll be like, hang him. Yeah, don't waste bullets. Okay? Ropes are usually usable. Or maybe the death sentence is a bit extreme, but not in some cases. We'll have to see how bad it gets. TV. Ugh, TV's bad for your brain. Smash it up. Thank you. So I hope you have enjoyed the show tonight. I've got a few more things to show you. We're going to look at some antiquity. I'm going to look at my images of the week, a little giggle in there to finish off this show. The world has become Judge Dredd, though, hasn't it? Yeah? Fucking ISO cubes. And the way the police behave, man. If they just it's nuts. They'll hit you and get you out of the way. It's like, what the fuck? You can't even treat people that way. It's like they want you, they're not even beacons of how to behave, yet they're supposed to be bringing in law and order. Oh, now things need to change big time in Britain. And when it does, I wouldn't want to be in their fucking shoes. Jesus Christ. Paedophile protectors. Fucking nightmare. Flat thumbs. Double flat thumbs. Yeah, I don't even know. They must be blackmailing them for all of them to want to back up a, satanic paedophilic system. They must have them by the bollocks somehow. I don't even know why. It must be black magic. I can't imagine what's going on with this weird army that showed up. You are under arrest from global warming. Global warming is fucking excellent, mate. It's 12 degrees here in November. I had a little sweat on today and the sun come out. It was lovely. What's that, Bob Sykes? Yogi Paul from Manchester. Oh, excuse me. Just said hi. Did he? Yogi Paul? Okay. Thank you for being here. And much love to you. Okay, let's get some more juice going. Okay. The juice overfloweth in this show. And I'm really glad to be back on a Flaterday. And I really do appreciate you all being here as well. So many of you. I don't know. Mr. Music got me there. I'll have to think about that. Excuse me, I need a drink. Okay, next bit. So we're going to look at some pictures of 1860s Edinburgh in Scotland. I had a Scottish lady from Bonnie, Scotland in the chat earlier. And we do love Scotland. They're lovely Celtic people. And they're just like the Welsh, really. Or cutchy. And not to be messed with. Just like the Welsh. So yeah, Edinburgh 1860. What you're going to get is existence of that world that I explained to you just now. Antiquity everywhere, but a serious lack of population. And this city, yeah, is built. Just like everywhere in the ancient world. In these early photographs, there's nothing being built. Everything's arrived. This is the Scott Memorial, as you can see. And it looks like the top of a church. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a lot more buried underneath. And another observation somebody brought to me as well is about the tree growth in the old photographs. Okay, they're always the same. They're either new saplings suggesting a reset, or the trees look 20, 25 years old. You just in old photographs, the only old trees you see are being chopped down. There must be something in that, guys. The trees and the shrubbery and all of it. And, you know, I feel the climate is a lot hotter. I don't see any snow in these old pictures. Look at this, old Edinburgh, horse and carty world. And you've got Edinburgh Castle, which is a star fort. And it's on top of an extinct volcano, they tell us. Steeped in Arthurian legend is Arthur's seat. It's one part. So, yeah, this is the population. Okay, 1860. He's a moving image and he's fuzzed out because there's supposed to be a problem with the development. Yeah, I showed 1860s photographs, fully moving pictures only 2 days ago. So I'm thinking there's different photographic processes going on. What is this for? What is inside it? It's just a folly, isn't it? It's not nice to look at, but it's a box, isn't it? It's a big box with a space, a cavity inside, isn't it? What could be in there? I always think about that. And here we have an observatory. 1860, they're looking at the sky. And they put the observatory on what is a beautiful classical building. But again, nobody really about. Look at that. Whew. Such an image of Tataria. But you know, you got tartan in Scotland, and Tatarian pictures of Tatarian ladies wearing tartan. I've seen native North American women, I think it was Navajo, wearing tartan. Tatarians. Wow, I bet that's way haunted. Again, look at these buildings outside of Edinburgh, 1860. Yeah, massive. Absolutely massive. No population around. You know, how many people are going to actually live in that? A family with some staff, is it? They got 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the back there, 5 Four Angel technology pieces. So this is Four Angels technology. If you watch my channel, you'll know that. And there's all of them. Just generating power too. Absolutely incredible. Look at that. The world is fantastic. There's just nobody around. 3 people in that image. Where's the people? And one of them, 2 of them have got guns. One of them's reading, and he's just looking down at his mobile phone. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's texting. And 2 soldiers and a horse and car. So only a small military presence, and they don't even look British Army. Notice how they got a crown on top of the clock tower here. The giant's crown. And on there, giant's crown. The corona, that's a technology, isn't it? Definitely. Structuring that water there beautifully. Okay, fantastic photo. So this is Roslin Chapel, which is just outside of Edinburgh. They say the Holy Grail is inside of this pillar, but no one's actually got the courage to hit it or smash it with a sledgehammer and find out. But they say it's musical designations, and they've actually used these, turned them into music, and they play it inside there. You can go into like a musical rendition of what the walls say of this medieval music. It's absolutely potty. But yeah, Knights Templar built it, tunnel systems underneath, it's connected with the Merovingians. It's a lot of fables around the building of Roslin Chapel, but it's on a specific ley line coordinate. And do I think the place is evil? It's the church, ain't it? So again, there's no massive trees in these either. Not really. There's little trees. And what the hell is that? A little bit of the Parthenon. What does it do? Nothing. It's just there. Bit of the ancient world. Look at this. The year 866. 1866, I guess. The one's been taken off, but it says 866. Temperance Hotel, Temperance Movement. We used to have Temperance Town in Cardiff. Got knocked down when I was young. But the Temperance Movement was a bit weird. I think they were a bit like the Moonies. So this place got a wrecked chapel at the end with no roof on it. from the reset. Oh, this has been tarted up since. It's what they were doing before photographs, is tarting everything up. Right, except for this bit here that they've missed. What is that in the foreground? There's a load of dressed stone. Wow. Wow. That was a building. You see, that's why I took the photograph. This building in the backdrop and all that dressed stone of something. Clock towers again, setting the time for the whole world. It's crazy how they got the whole world to agree on time zones and have London as Greenwich Mean Time. Didn't they have like problems with that in Moscow? Like, you know, Putin in the past, or whoever in the past, say Gorbachev or whoever was in control back then, Peter the Great. Why can't we be Meridian? It's like, because we want it as Greenwich and we're in charge. Do you want our fleet to come and fuck you up? We're British. So that's what they do. They bully everyone, gangster style. Get away with it. So it's worked fine since we've been around. We've been doing the gangster thing, Britain, for a long time before everyone else. I think we got it down now. Yep, we've been at it a long time. This building's see-through. There's nothing in it. It's a ruin, the whole thing. You can see straight through, can't you? Yep. There's some sort of folly in the foreground, in front of it, like a crown thing. So that is Holly Rod. Oh, that's been tarted up. That's a royal residence in the modern day, isn't it? They sent Prince Andrew off to some sort of exile in some lodge in Scotland to sit up there on his own, reflect on his behaviour. But they've given him, I think, is it 13 grand a month or something? Wages. Well done, Prince Andrew. He's been stripped of his titles and shit, and they're on about taking his war medals off him for the Falklands War, for his involvement in Epstein and all like that. But that's just narratives, isn't it? If they really give a shit, they'd have arrested everyone who was involved in it, but they don't. But nobody likes Hollywood stars anymore. I can't imagine anyone wanting to sit through like a Brad Pitt film or anything nowadays. You'd be like, ugh. You know what I mean? It's like you get all of the like Eyes Wide Shut buzz coming off them, don't you? You don't want to fucking watch that, do you? It's like, ugh, fucking hell. And they're all like it. So, you know, it's difficult to find a film. So, yeah. Edinburgh, yeah, before Train Spotting, had all massive Greco-Romano architecture. And I think this is called Princes Street, isn't it? Or is it Argyle Street? Argyle Street. Princes Street is in Edinburgh. It's in Glasgow, I think. Nora can tell me. She knows these places. I went up to the top of Scotland by Wick, a place called Banff and Macduff, where I seen the Northern Lights. And it was like 25 degrees in September. It was boiling. Beautiful, in fact. I had a great time. Got off with a midwife. It was brilliant, brilliant time. But I've never been to any Scottish cities except for Inverness. So I've never been to Edinburgh, and I've never been to Glasgow. So there's something I need to pen in for the future. Let's go north. As long as it's summer, because I tell you what, if you're in Britain, the further north you go, the colder it gets. It's fucking horrible. Down here, I'm in the south, yeah, basking in sunshine. Well, not really. But up north, bleed it now. As soon as you go past Yorkshire, oh, it's blabbery, a Bostock. Yeah. Thick woolies, it don't make no difference. The wind cuts straight frigging through. Oh, it's terrible. You've got to get up north, up to the western extremities where the Gulf Stream is to get the warm winds coming in from the Azores. You know, the eastern side. That's why Lincolnshire is always so frigging cold and windy. It comes in off the North Sea. Oh, it's bleeding horrible. Oh. So, yeah, that's that chapel on that building of Holly Rod Chapel, the nave. I wonder why they call it the nave, like the navy. Oh, the navy. Phoenicians, of course. Damn. So, yeah, look at the high street. There's a few people in there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars, 6 cars. There's a few people on the high street. It's not like the modern day. It's got crazy architecture there, haven't they? Edinburgh from the castle. Well, these things are nuts, these follies. And that cliff in the background looks sinister. It looks like some sort of mining operation. There's a line all the way up it. Might be a road. So, yeah, what's with that folly? I wonder what's inside these things. Dead bodies. Some weird magic going on. Oh, there's a gasometer there. 1860 gasometer. Yeah, that's acceptable. Okay. So, yeah, what a beautiful Tatarian city. Oh, my God. Fantastic. I wonder if that tower's still there. You go to the top and see the view. But not many population. But I think this is like literally left over from the old world. I really, really do. So let's get through some images of the day. And that'll be us for the duration. 600 still if you're watching. Thank you, for being here. Make sure to share this out if you would, guys. I'm sure this has been shareable. And plus, it is actual real juice, which is, as we know, rare on YouTube. Okay. You can, in Blackpool, buy on the beach smelly balls for £3 or 2 for £5. So if you're into smelly balls, that's the place for you, isn't it? I know they're into smelly balls. We know that. Watery balls and smelly balls. Everything's about balls with them. Have you noticed? Where are the baby incubators? Nowadays, they have some in hospitals. My sister, I think, was in one. This gate must be open or shut. Yeah, obviously. I'm confused. See, little paradoxes like that will just mess my brain up. Check this little guy, right? No, he only wants to say hi. Oh, he's got no legs and no arm. He's got one arm and a little body. But yeah, I would shit my pants, and I would have been out of there if he come running up. Arms for Allah in me, whatever he's doing. So yeah, fucking hell, the things that are in this realm you got to watch out for, guys. 1,000 years of added history. What do you think, guys? Donna loves balls. Well, that's completely normal being a female Donna. That's acceptable. Rogue Pururi 444 giving us loves. Zandy, much love to you too. And vibes. Oh, I'll come back and give you all love in a minute, right? A love and a big cutch. So yeah, we got a J838 or a J768 there for this building. Interesting little clock with the sun in the middle. Quite like that. So yeah. Lady Di, she's a big girl, isn't she? I did see her when I was young. I thought she was pretty. She had really pretty eyes. They sparkled and stuff. But with that sort of money, they all got sparkly eyes, haven't they? She's like a big Kate Bush, posh English. No, she's nothing like Kate Bush. She's massive. Look at her. I'm saying this guy might be little, but this guy, you know, everyone's little, and she's at least a foot taller than everyone else. She's a big fucking girl. She's a big girl. Right, she is not the nice, lovely humanitarian. I'm going to shake hands with an AIDS case. I'm going to wear a flak jacket so I don't get my ass blown up by landmines. I care so much person at all. She them eyes just scream, I'm going to have sex with a heart doctor. So, yeah, she's hiding her true feelings. She's gone to watch him play polo. The cameras are there. She gives him a little snog later. Tongues and everything. It's horrible. But, yeah, the whole world had their hair Lady Di in the 1970s. Even my family had a Lady Di cut. It's like, oh, yeah, we all want to look like Lady fucking Di. Fucking great. Check this out then for antiquity. Ghent. Beautiful. Antiquity post office, right? Knobbly bits and everything. And then we got a picture of its roof being put on in, excuse me, what was the year? But the building's obviously already there. The rest looks like mud flood as well, like lower windows. So the building's already there. All this is showing, same as ever, is the roof going on after a reset in the year 1801. Go figure. No clock No clock tower either. And that's the same in Cincinnati. I got so many clock towers that I've got built for a clock tower and never had clocks put in them. Something about that. So did you take empty bottles back and get money for them when you were growing up? Did you? Bottles, you could get 10 pence on a bottle of like Strongbow or Woodpecker or Brain Stack, stuff like that. So you get like a load, yeah, and then you get them, take them back to the off license. He gives you £1.20 for all the bottles, and then you buy another flagon of DAC, and then you can be a drunken child on the streets of Ely like all British kids. Great. So this is a very poorly looking Henry Tudor. Yeah, this is Henry VIII when he was young, bit pasty, wasn't he, and weak looking. And they paint a picture. He's a bit of a stud. Yeah, he's had 7 wives. Admittedly, he's bumped them all off. So is the nature of the Welsh. But look, he's got bags, and they literally put the bags in. So they bound to have like airbrushed him a bit for like, you know, outward perceptions. But he still looks like something the cat dragged in. And here's one of his wives. This is her, like, Anne of Cleves. Now, he has her head chopped off. She looks like a child, doesn't she? I don't know how old Anne of Cleves was when he met her. But anyway, she complained. The usual. Carry On Dick. Now, I love Carry On films. Last night, the film I watched last night was Laurel and Hardy. Pack Up Your Troubles in Your Old Kit Bag. It was fucking brilliant. It was in the First World War. Watch it. It's colorized as well. Oh my God, Laurel and Hardy. I just love them so much. So lovely. It is a bit weird that they share the bed together. Okay, and they're 2 fellas, and they wear nightgowns as well, right? But in that day and age, because they're all nice and that, you're not thinking that. You're not. It doesn't even enter. When I was a kid, I wasn't thinking, well, that's weird. Because it's Laurel and Hardy. But yeah, you can't beat the Carry On films are the best. So here's Sophie Loren. She just kicked her shoes off. Yeah. She's on holiday in Russia. She's having a little sit down by the Kremlin, as you can see, with her Russian friends, because she was, in fact, a Russian agent. McCarthy should have had her up in court like he did with all the other stars, yeah, for the Were you ever a visitor to the Soviet Union? Yes. They could ask me that, and I'd be like, well, yeah. So, oh, you're a Russian spy? So why are you saying it like a Russian? It's like you're European. So what I want to bring attention to is the smoke that's coming off her head. Does that mean she's holy? Or does it mean her hair is on fire? Sophie Loren is smoking hot. Don't worry. Right, here's apparently the Nazis did not like Freemasons. Apparently they gathered them all up and put them in camps with all of the other undesirables. Okay. And here is a couple of Nazis pointing at some sort of black thing with a black thing on the end. Don't know what it is. But as you can see, they are in fact Freemasons. So the narrative that the Nazis didn't like Freemasonry might not be true in this case, unless they've killed all the Freemasons and they're showing the Nazis where the Freemasons once had their temple. That could be the case. Here are the Freemasons that existed. They're now skeletons. Obviously, I don't know the context. 1887, we used to do witchcraft when we were kids. We used to make an effigy of Guy, who was Penny for the Guy. So we used to do Penny for the Guy, then build an effigy of a human being. Then we used to put him on top of a thing called a bonfire. Yeah, a guy. And then we used to burn it. And we all used to clap and cheer when the guy went up in flames. It's like, yeah, he's burning. The fucker's burning. Weird. So that's definitely like, we were all like pagan. We were all like the medieval period in the 1970s. We didn't know shit about shit, did we? Well, we only had Vesta curries, pot noodles, and party 8 cans to exist on. So there's that. So yeah, waste of the old days. I talked about yesterday on my blog. Apparently they had clay, which they would just chuck. And then these are the items that we find, but there's not too many items from antiquity. Otherwise, all of us would have some. It's all lost. It's all gone. And what strange things have we dug up? Well, apparently, even though they're showing the Perry Reese map here, and apparently this is Antarctica, they have dug up this thing here. I think it was in Anatolia, and it is a geometric shape, and it looks like something very, very computery is going on. But they don't tell you any more about that. But it's supposed to be from the ancient world. Nothing is ancient in this place. That's something you don't see in city centres anymore, though I'd like to see it. It's taking cattle across Waterloo Bridge in London. Nobody frowning, nobody giving a shit, just a man getting on with his cattle or his sheep. They don't mind when they're eating them with mint sauce on a Sunday, but they won't have them gallivanting down the road, will they? So I don't know, this looks like it might be Arabic writing, I don't know, but this is an ancient, we've all seen the film Immortals, haven't we, when they stuck two women in one of these bowls and then they lit them up and then they cook. But it seems a bit excessive. I don't think they were doing this, but they say that they were doing this to people. This is Butte Town. Oh, when I was a kid, there was a housing, a massive old world estate called Butte Town. And I used to be able to go down to the seawall, and we used to sit there, me, my mother and my sister, wait for my father's ship to come past into the dock. Just like in the movies, man. Tiger Bay. Just like in the movies. And this place was fantastic beyond belief. The community, you wouldn't even believe it. It was all people from the Caribbean, and they had steel bands out playing. Oh, it's just fucking out of this world. They knocked it all down when I was a kid. Fucking all of it. And then he put all these blocks of flats up and everything. They did do everything. Do you know what they've done with the community? Moved them out all over Cardiff. Terrible. All people had known one another since ever. Or since the reset. You and I art Earth is I661, I think. So yeah, these ladies know about the energy of trees. They are creating a toroidal around a tree, just holding that tree. She doesn't even look Indian now. She looks like she might have been European. Interesting, the film Back to the Future, when they set the flux capacitor to go to the future. So he set it on the 26th of October, 1985, which is my son's birthday and was my wife's birthday as well. And the date that they set was November the 6th, which was a few days ago, 2025. Did you know that? Interesting, isn't it? Ha! Indeed, Manny. Ha! Fuckers. Yeah, it's a little vision of the sky trains of the old world. I think these were all electric, you know. Look at that one just passing through the building. Oh, beautiful. Horse and carty, electric trains and big buildings. Makes no sense. That one's a steam train, though. Look at that, though. In Berlin, beautiful. Love that image. The world just finding its way. A lot of uniformitarianism, a lot of instilled ideology, most of it obviously based on fake. So this is a rather interesting map. It shows everything that is green is Tataria. Okay, so that would include Britain, all of Europe, and a good portion of Asia. But other maps show us, no maps show us Tataria and Persian Empire included in Tataria, funnily enough. But the Tatarian Empire goes over all the way to China at some stage in the past. But they show you Nova Zelima as actually being part of what they call Hyperborean. Norway and Sweden look very peculiar cartography. But yeah, so everything green is shown as Tataria, which I definitely think was the case. Interesting, they got Barbaria down here. Barbaria, Tataria. No connection, no. Whatever, same word. Here's Isis and boyfriend with snakes, who are actually just lizards or serpents. Or mermaids and mermen. So, is that it for today? I think it is. Wow. I've been talking for 2 hours anyway. So let me come back and give you all a big shout and catch up with you all. Okay. Marticus Von Twinkle Toes, still got 700 of you almost in chat. Austria was also Tataria. Oh, no doubt about it. And the Czech Republic. Beautiful architecture there as well. So, Ryan, good to see you. And Alva Billy. Love you, Alva Billy. What's going on, my man? Granddaddy Purple wafting about. And we got your Roxy. Who actually gives a shit about CEOs? Why would you even think about why CEOs are even missing? Well, bothered. Oh, the poor CEOs, companies got missing. I know what you're saying. They're all run away. Yeah. Well, they probably have run away. I would as well. Gnostic sects say the Tartarus. Yeah. That's also the Greek mythology. Tartarus as being hell. It's all just I think it's discriminative. I think it's, when you're taking and eradicating a civilization out of the history books and out of the texts, okay, the last thing you're going to do is say, oh, they did exist and they were really funky and had all this advanced civilization. It just doesn't go with hiding it. We've unraveled that mystery. That's what we've been doing. Unemployed in Greenland. I simply have to find myself another giant is all. Princess Bride. Good luck with that, mate. So, you living in Greenland? No. Julia, good to see you. Love you. Keep on plugging the truth. Okay. Thanks, I will. I just got to get on a roll, Fucking distractions all the time. It's not good for my creative instincts. It's India. Oh, it's Holistic Media. Good to see you, lovely. Techno Kid. Who knows how much land they are hiding? I think it's all about hidden land, mate. I think it's all about it. Lady in the right man is a woman. Could well be. Trans-investigated by HD personnel. Yeah, man. Yeah, I think something dodgy's going on with Greenland. Just got instinctive, like, what do we know about it, really? It's massive. It's on the map. Jesus Christ, it's just huge. Yeah, there's like, I know nothing about it. Nothing about it. What's the capital of Greenland? Precisely. I guess it has got a capital. Just don't know it. Nuke. I think. Yeah, Nuke. Is that it? Nuke. I think it's called Nuke. Yeah. And UKE. So, yeah, well, concerning the masterpieces that show us the previous world, the reason they're worth all that money and kept so, so many conditions is because I think that they had some sort of reset vaults like they have with the Svalbard Seed Bank, where they kept bits of the old world. They definitely did in World War II because they moved all of the items out of the Louvre and that into caves, didn't they? The Monuments film shows you that they had hid it on. So they're going to do that if the world's going to end. And they did definitely get a tip off. No doubt about it. Tree Huggers United. Yeah. Love hugging a tree. Innit, Crafty Kim. Innit. Okay, guys, this is going to be a 2-hour post today. I don't need to go 3 hours. Oh, Scott's in the house as well. Make sure to catch up. If you haven't seen my last post, it's well worth a look. 10,000 people have had a look. And this is the accompaniment to that, where I offer the chart that I made. Made a chart. Look. Oh, shit. No, it's not even showing for some reason because it's got green screen. I made a chart and it showed me a pattern, which I'm showing to you. As creepy as it is, take it or leave it. I think that's the case at this stage of the game. Lisa loves me. Ah. Okay, great show, mate. Thanks, Bob. Much appreciated, my man. Liddy. Texulus is popular now. Here, sir. Good to see you as well, my friend. Okay, make sure to share this out. Like this video if you do. Like this video. And you have enjoyed it, and you feel like you've learned something. Have I activated any synapses in your brains? Haven't I? And I got you thinking, haven't I? Well, that's all that's important. Safest part in Mexico might be American Embassy. Fuck that. So if you think it is, Henry, I'm safe wherever I go. I've been in some really dodgy places, war zones, fucking all sorts, and being like I am. And do you know what happens to me? Absolutely fucking nothing, ever. Do you know why? Because I know it won't. That's why. If you go around in this world thinking like, oh, fucking no, I'm going to get battered or some shit's going to happen to me, it might happen to you. Things like getting a pull at airports, that's standard. Yeah, so I expect that. It always happens. But if I didn't expect it, it probably wouldn't. I bring it. It's a loop. That's my loop. Anyway, okay. Resect Act Tesseract. Oh, I like that. Who said that? IFX. It's good, that is. I will sleep well. It's a bit early for me yet. Miles Phillips. Definitely thirsty. Axel, thank you for being here. Cheers from Tartarus, Australia. Okay. And okay, I think I got a show on Tuesday. I got to check. I think it's Tuesday morning with Autodidactic, who's Campbell, and Kelly, who's Tataria, Australia. I need to double check, but I think they're going to pop over here in the morning, and we're all going to have a chat about all of this. And all that AI bollocks that's all being rolled out and everything else that we've been talking about lately. I'll catch up. Bring some love. Guardian Angels are a thing. I think so, Billy. I haven't given up on the old Guardian Angels thing yet. I won't be either. I've had too many angelic communications, so to speak. Yeah, Wolf. Same personifications of repeated narratives. That's all they do. They got like the one book and they just give you different versions of it. Amy, great show. Sending love too. All right, thanks, guys. Somebody bought me a coffee there. That's really appreciated. Any donations are strongly appreciated. Thank you so much for that, man. Okay. Oh, no, she's posting it. All right, thanks, love. Okay, John Bishop, Psychic Army has been activated. Abundance and love on to you all. Did you hear that, guys? 600 of you. The Psychic Army has been activated. That's us. And love and abundance to you all. How do you feel about that? It's good, isn't it? It's better than a poke in the eye with a shitty stick. That's for sure. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Okay. Serpents with human heads are called Nagas. That's what I was trying to think of. Naga, the Hindu god of the underworld. Callie and Campbell. Yeah. I'll fix you up with what the time is and all of that, because it's all ass backwards in Australia, as you know. I've got to get it early. I don't know. All right, thanks, Intervisions. Glad you enjoyed it. Okay, much love from Wales. Land where I am in Cardiff, Ely, which is awesome. We love everyone here in Ely. We're the greatest, nicest of people. We'll cut you all in, we will. Bye all. Many thanks, Martin. Thanks, Debs. Thanks, Monica. And oh, Mary's back in the house. Good to see you. Hi, Mary. Where are that? And Dusky. Oh, Nosta, because I'm going on. And our India and our thank you, Pippi, for doing all the links and stuff. Okay, let's not milk this. Right. So this has been a 2-hour video. You can watch this juice in increments because it's 2 hours long if you're just starting. Watch your half hour, go make a cup of coffee, do a ting, come back, listen to the rest. That's well worth your listening time. Okay, happy and healthy. Oh, I like that name. Yeah. So many healthy things to you all, and love and good things. I was going to say blessings, but I don't do that because that's be lessons. I wouldn't do that to you all. Big hugs, mods. Okay, Son of Overbrook. Giving you all loves as well. Bye to everyone. So yeah, have a great weekend. Have a great Sunday. Hope everything's awesome. How about a show on the Tavistock Institute? Okay, JP, you got it, baby. I'm gonna do that soon. Okay, I'll do that. Pasture of Castles. Oh, I gotta go now. Sorry, man. Shit. Okay, till next time. Stay epic, guys. I'll be back very soon with more juice. Keep an eye on my community page for all things, and keep an eye out early this week. I think I'm doing a thing. And just keep an eye out, okay? There's loads going on, and it's epic, and we're on a roll. Nice one, skinhead. Oi, oi.